So what happened? Well, usually most of the time I'd blame Pete. However, on this day, it was all on me. Basically, I hated it. Well, at least I hated it this time. You see, I wasn't feeling it, and most of you that paddled know what I mean. So much of this sport is a head game. I mean, I've run bigger, more complicated runs for sure. But this place has a lot going on, all in the right amount that if you don't paddle aggressive, it's going to make you pay.
No, I'm sick.
Swirling eddies, lots of rafts and other kayakers, fast continual water flow, one big wave hole after another, rough concrete that somehow also offers no grip or to steady yourself in the eddies.
And then you can use the current to get you over to where he's at.
Oh, yeah, the problem is,
We were there on race day? What? You were there on race day?
So yeah, I was in sensory overload, and well, I wasn't having fun. I was paddling timid, not driving hard into eddies, not paddling through waves, basically like I was new.
Yeah, this first one's called entrance exam.
So let's go through the runs and see just how I'd let this place get in my head.
You can just hit that V, boat angle a little bit right, and it'll take you over the little waves afterwards.
A little timid, not too bad, but not following through either. Here you can see my first interaction with the eddies. Now once you're out of the flow, the opposing water is moving in completely the opposite direction, basically sucking you back in, which I'm sure is done by design, but it takes a little while to get used to it. And here you can see me basically just bypassing the eddy because I wasn't driving into it hard enough. Not really looking ahead at what I should be looking at, which made me feel more like I was just trying to survive versus running the rapids. And there you can see Adam do a much more controlled entrance to the eddy than me. And here again you can see that no strokes are very aggressive. It looks a lot more like I'm just flattling around than actually paddling. Basically, I'm paddling scared. Sitting here in this eddy, struggling to stay in one spot, beating my paddle around helplessly. It's not good paddling technique, and it's quite embarrassing actually.
I like this part go hard left to the rock, and then jump the left side into that eddy. But you can bomb it straight too. Yeah. So this is shut down, M-wave. Right after the bridge, it's a long ramping, gets really fast. And there's a big stout, like haystack wave at the bottom. We're usually just a little left to center of that. Yeah, today you can go right as far as you want to and miss the hole if you want to. Kind of go up to the right side where the rock is, boat angle right, and throw you right in that eddy. You won't even get in the hole. You want the Girl Scout line, go all right.
At this point, I kind of did want the Girl Scout line, but I wasn't going to let him know that.
Be right. Take off after him.
So here we go, taking off into M-wave, the biggest rapid on Wilderness Channel, at least that I know of. And confidence isn't that high right now, but sometimes I even amaze myself. Not bad. Made it through. It was actually pretty good. Let's see what else happens. At this point, aside from one G.I. Joe in it right there at the end, I've done pretty good. Felt pretty good in it, but here's these dang eddies again. Just can't hold in one spot long enough. Decide to head the rest of the way down. Don't paddle head up into current, and just kind of let it take me, which kind of kills any momentum I might have. Make it through the first spot, and all I'm looking at is that big wave right there in front of me. I'm going to nose into it. Made it through, but did not see this one, and this is what happens. I abandoned rule number 1 and went into the hole sideways. So I was underwater. The force was obviously pretty heavy right there, and even though I've been practicing my roll and I've done combat rolls, again, it was not in my head, and instead of just riding it out and getting to the flush and rolling up, I pulled my skirt. Not my proudest moment. Now we're going on a second lap, and I'm really in my head here. Looking back, I should have told myself that I cleaned the whole lap with only one mistake in the last hole at the very end. But instead, I was bringing more and more doubt in my own mind, and that only led to an increasing my nerves and decreasing my trust in whatever skill I have. And there you can see it. Even on the first entrance rapid, you can tell my confidence is gone, and I don't want to be here. The time for having fun, it's kind of gone.
Both you and Kevin, you just rode all the way through with the paddle in the water. A little more paddle in the water through the meat of the rapid. Alright. Stay, watch this raft. Come back to it one more time.
And you can tell simply by watching the camera how I'm looking around, how my head doesn't stay still, that I'm just nervous. It's gotten to me. My senses are overloaded. And it can't end well.
Keep it straight, paddle through the raft.
And again, here, just not leaning downstream. Something that simple has got me swimming again. No roll. I'm just kind of over it.
Just follow the edge around the rock.
So here I'm contemplating my options. I've always said, if you're not having fun, there's no point in doing it. While I've never walked off a river, I've never stepped back from the challenge in front of me. This day was just over for me. So right here is where I made the decision just to call it a day. As much as I hate it, as much as it's against my personality, I just had enough for one day. I mean, it's not like I've never swam before. I mean, anybody who's seen Wilson Creek on my first trip out knows that. But it just wasn't feeling right today, and I'd rather want to come back and try it again than to just basically beat myself up until it was all over. So what's the moral of the story? Well, it's that we all have those days, and that's okay. Whether it be a rapid you may need to walk, or just a mindset you can't kick. There's no shame in it, and anyone who says otherwise just hasn't seen a big enough river yet. What's important is to not let that stop you from moving forward. You see, I know I'll come back here, and with the right mindset. And when I do, I'll clean the whole thing, or at least smile trying. Because, well, I'm a beater, and that's just what we do.